Hi, this is Jackie's Reading Room, and I'm your host, Jackie P. Have you turned some pages today? Throughout the first 36 episodes of Jackie's Reading Room, a number of celebrities have been mentioned. From Matthew McConaughey, mentioned in episode 13 on audiobooks, to Michael J. Fox, who wrote 4 books himself. Celebrities not only write but also read books of all kinds. And since it is so easy today to share information, we can have access to these famous people's recommendations in just a few clicks. So, even if reading is usually done alone, right? Maybe in your favorite chair in your living room, or on the subway, or uh, on the beach, or wherever you may be. Well, one can easily meet other readers and share about a title they've enjoyed or not, because it's also possible. Celebrity book clubs are one of the many ways one can not only learn about new titles or authors they hadn't read before, but also connect with people from around the world through a story. So today, let me tell you about 3 of these celebrity book clubs that I already knew about. I found out more about each of these as I was doing my research. And it seems like I have, I don't want to say a connection with these celebrities, although to a certain extent, I guess I feel I do. But meaning, I think that some of the books that these celebrities enjoy, I've also enjoyed. So if that's a connection, well, there you go. So the first book club, which has been going on since March, actually, no, not, I don't know if it's March, since 1996, is Oprah's Book Club. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's had its ups and downs, and it's not as prominent as it used to be. But you must know that Oprah herself selects the books on the book club, and there are now 99 of them. I'm going to put a link to this list of the 99 titles that are part of Oprah's book club. The most recent pick is the nonfiction title Bittersweet by Susan Cain. She is the author of the book Quiet. You may have heard about that. Now, while Bittersweet talks about how we deal with sadness, which I think is extremely intriguing because we've all experienced sadness, but we rarely talk about it. Quiet, on the other hand, explains, and I quote, the power of introverts. And I believe that if I went downstairs to my reading corner, I would find a copy of Quiet. I believe it's there waiting for me on my very long TBR pile. Some of the titles I've read from Oprah's book club are American Dirt. It's a novel by Janine Cummins. This was one of the best books I've read in the last, I would say, 5 years. It stands out if I go through the list of the books I've read. Amazing story of this woman who flees Mexico to save herself and her son. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And another title from that list, I believe I've mentioned it before as a modern classic, The Road by Cormac McCarthy. If you haven't read that yet, there are so many books to read, right? And so little time. But if you have a chance to put your hands on this very beautiful book, please do so. It is a very, very a beautiful title. Second celebrity book club I'd like to share with you today is Reese's Book Club. It has 2 million followers on Instagram and Facebook, and you can even download the app. I actually did that today as I was researching. I don't think I knew about that part of the book club, and you can interact with people there and write about some books you enjoy. So Reese's Book Club works like this. Every month, actress Reese Witherspoon chooses 2 books that are featured. So it's one for adults and one for young adult readers. And I saw that her choices are varied, but they are generally, and I quote, current, joyful, and thought provoking books with female leads. And I was looking at the list, and as far as I can see, most of the authors of the books are women, but I don't know if it's exclusively written by women. I was going through the list, and quite a few of the titles I've read, but one example is the novel Lucky by Marisa Stapley. I was actually pleasantly surprised by that novel, and it takes place in great parts in Las Vegas. And I thought that female character was, she was a riot. She was like no one I had ever read about. I believe that is going to be made into a film or a series. Lucky. And recently I bought 2 of her recent picks. One of them is a kind of a thriller called The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. It's a debut novel. And The House of Eve by Sadiqa Johnson. I talked about that, I believe, in last week's episode, which was episode 36 on celebrating Black History Month. So lots to choose from. And you will also remember that one of my episodes was about diversifying your reading. When you go to a book club like that, that's a great way to diversify your reading. You might find either some classics you had forgotten or current titles that you had never heard about and that fit with what you enjoy reading. So why not go to these websites? I'm going to put all these links right in the blurb. And the last book club I'd like to tell you about is Jenna's Book Club. Now, Jenna is Jenna Bush Hager. She is George Bush's daughter. She is the host of the Today Show, and in March of 2019, so 4 years ago, she started this book club. And she also, by doing this, she is also supporting independent bookstores through a site called Bookshop. And what happens is, so for example, if you're in the US, you can decide to support one of the independent bookstores that are part of that network, of the Bookshop network. And if we want to keep those bookstores, we have to encourage them. So I thought that was very well done. So on the website for the Today Show, you'll be able to find not just the list of her picks, right? Every month since 2019, but you'll also find interviews with authors. You'll find lists of the best books of whatever moment. If I can give you an example, there's something called 5 books to read after MAM, according to author Jessica George, right? So different things like that, different lists that you can go through. So it can definitely inspire you to read more of books that you've enjoyed, or make you discover some brand new things. One of the books on the Jenna's Book Club list is entitled Dear Edward. Now, I must have mentioned Dear Edward before in one of Jackie's Reading Rooms episodes. Dear Edward was written by Anne Napolitano. She has actually a new book out this winter of 2023. But Dear Edward was the January 2020 pick for Jenna's Book Club. And I believe I may have mentioned that the story is about this plane that crashes, and Edward is the only survivor. And so he has to go live with his aunt and uncle. And it's a book that will break your heart and then sew it back together every page. I thought it was very, very well. the characters are Edward is still somewhere with me in my heart. There are characters like that, right, that you can't forget. Um, and unfortunately, though, I that book stays with me when I take a plane, which is not necessarily the best thing, but love that book. So listen, I'm going to also put in a list of the 15 best online book clubs. There are a lot more out there from different areas of the world and that focus on different types of books. But I encourage you to at least start perhaps with these three, or even just click on one of the links that I put in there to see if there's anything that you're interested in. And hopefully that's going to provide you with a lot of new books to put on your TBR pile and make you keep on turning some pages. Take care. Until then, please share.